Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
That's right, Joe. And we want you to be a part of it too, folks. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and join the conversation every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen. And we have Instagram and TikTok too. Good morning, Joe. Happy Friday before
Happy
the
Friday.
Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, it's. Is there something going on this weekend? Is there something going on Sunday? I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
The
Oh, well, yeah, it's the big game this Sunday. I mean, obviously, we're this show is going to be pretty much dedicated to that. There's so much to talk about in the Super Bowl. Not just the teams, not just the players, not just the coaches. There is so much other stuff just surrounding the Super Bowl. It's become, it is, a Sunday, but Monday should be a national holiday. I think we all kind of been pushing for that, but we'll see eventually. But before we do get to the big game, today is also marking a pretty significant day, the opening ceremonies of the
Yes,
Winter
sir.
Olympics. I kind of forget that before we get to the opening ceremonies, some things are already underway. And just so, because we're international, we talk about all sports. Just a quick Olympic update plug. The women's ice hockey team has already opened up with a commanding victory, so they're off to a great start. The mixed curling U.S. team has already got 2 wins under their belt. Don't forget, the last time curling from the U.S. has won an Olympics medal, 2018 was a gold medal by our men's team, and in bronze back in 2006. So we're not exactly, don't have a lot of history in this sport in bringing home the medal. So we're off to a good start there. I love curling, actually. As boring as it might look, it's one of the easiest sports to kind of watch, drink beer, and eat, popcorn. And even a 5-year-old can understand what the rules are and what they're trying to accomplish. I like it a lot.
That's significant too, because you just said you drank beer watching curling, but you drink Diet Coke watching football.
Did I say beer? Yeah, that was somebody else. I was talking about, Diet Cokes, obviously. And then finally, men's big air, snowboarding, the sport I'm not saying invented, but we kind of made it, with Shaun
Yeah,
White, the Olympic household name. It's not over yet, but after early rounds, we're ninth, so we need to pick it up a notch. But
I caught a little
you
bit
know,
of that last night, and was kind of like wah 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 wah. I was
yeah,
hoping they would do a little bit better than that.
I know, and they probably will. Let's face it; it's
Hopefully,
early, but we'll see what happens. But yeah. So let's make this let's make this show about football. It deserves as much of our time as we can give it. Before we get into the actual Super Bowl game, several players were honored last night with
yeah.
the NFL Honors Awards. What are your thoughts on that? Anything stick out to you? It was a close one for the MVP.
I really enjoyed the fact that the defensive player of the year, let me get those words out, uh, did go to Myles Garrett. And what surprised me, what stood out to me, is the newcomer of the year or rookie of the year on defense was another Cleveland Brown,
Linebacker. Yeah, kind of.
Schlesinger.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of watched a lot of football this year, to be honest with you. He never, for what, and maybe because Cleveland's record, but I never really caught my attention. But I'll be watching him from now on because he obviously is pretty darn good.
He had something like 150 tackles and just, but then how can Cleveland just someday get over the hump and make it to the playoffs again? I would love that. So they've got a
Well,
good nucleus.
I and a great fan base, a great history. I guess we're going to find out pretty soon if the head coach Stefanski was part of the problem or not. But before we move on to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I could not help. First of all, congratulations to Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Um, 17 years. I forgot about this. 17 years in the league, first MVP. It's kind of hard to believe, really, when you think about it. And last night, he's hard not to like, man. He looks like a great leader. Plays through pain. Great teammate.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this from a legitimate football point of view. Good looking guy. Looks like a quarterback. Prototype size. But when he came out last night with his daughters,
Yeah.
I mean, here's a guy with 4 daughters. They all dress the same. They're on a song. I mean, I'm going to try to. I don't know if this is. I'm going to try to avoid any copyright stuff, but I've got to just play this real quick because
Yeah.
it was
In
just so
case
fun
you
to
missed
watch
it.
for me. Yeah, in case you missed it, here's his acceptance speech. Pay attention to his daughters and how they're smiling and standing there until he kind of throws out a little bit of a dirty word, and it's kind of funny to watch their expression. But let's see it here.
It. I am so happy to have you at the games on the sideline with me, and I can't wait for you to cheer me on next year when we're out there kicking ass. And so I'll see you guys next year. Hopefully I'm not at this event, and we're getting ready for another game in SoFi. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
I love
Mommy.
that. Yeah, I just love, and if you couldn't see it there, check it out yourself. But just watch their little faces, like, "Ooh, Dad said a bad word." It's kind of funny. I
Mommy,
loved it.
Daddy said a bad word.
I know. It's funny. Hey, listen, man, I've got a daughter and a son, and all that, but just I don't know, something about the 4 girls lined up all dressed the same just looks, especially NFL, just contrast. I don't know. It's great, great. So, yeah, any other awards stick out to you? I'm glad, they kind of, honor the rookies of the year. I'm glad that, the offensive player happens to be playing in the Super Bowl. So, that's something nice. How close the MVP voting was between
Yeah.
May and Stafford, it came down to literally like one vote.
One vote, 24-23. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I just want to say congrats to Bobby Wagner, Walter Payton,
yeah.
who,
And I'm glad that was like, not like at the sometimes that's at the end of the show. It's the the last thing. Everybody's kind of collecting their stuff off the tables. I'm glad it was you know
featured.
rec-
Yeah.
recognized up front and early. I think it was
Me,
great.
me too. And then the Deion Dawkins has been pushing for the protector of the year. I love that piece for the offensive lineman, which was won by Joe Tooney. So
Yes.
congrats to the men up front who protect. That's a
Yeah.
great award. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. And so congratulations to Stafford. It was really, by the way, and then this will be the last thing I want to say about this, but there was one vote for Justin Herbert. It was from Sam Munson, to give him credit, at Sam Munson NFL. And he said, listen, I voted, yeah, I'm the one guy. I'm the one vote for Justin Herbert. And by the way, my reasoning is the guy had the worst offensive line in the NFL all season. And despite that, he worked miracles in almost every single game. Stafford's offensive line became 2/5 as bad as Herbert's for 5 minutes, and he was a turnover howitzer. So just want to, point out that there was one guy who thought Justin Herbert might have deserved it. So,
Oh,
um, all right. Super Bowl. What number is this? Super Bowl
60.
60?
Yeah.
What is it? Wow.
60. Yeah.
We're getting old, man. Um,
Yeah.
there are so many things to talk about. Like I said, aside from the team itself, and we're going to talk about, why don't we just get that right up front? Let's just get to the game, who's winning, and, why. Let's talk about that first.
Sounds good. And I encourage our listeners and commenters, viewers, to pick who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. I look forward to reading the comments. Put a comment in there and why you think they're going to win the Super Bowl, or what player, who's going to get the MVP, that kind of thing. So we welcome you to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll do the
Right.
same. And I I looked up a couple of things which I found pretty interesting about the game and the teams. Seattle 4.5 favorites, right? Okay. 68% probability to win. Well, I want to know, why are they picking them 68% probability? And they broke down a few things, and the data models processed 5 key areas. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Why Seattle's going to win. Time of possession. I'm just going to read 3 of them. Time of possession, red zone conversion, and turnovers. Those 3 things found that the Seahawks are superior in those categories. So I lead on to, I'll just go right ahead now and just say yes. I even put on this nice Hawaiian shirt that's closest to the Seattle Seahawks colors that I could, because there's no way I can root for the Patriots, even though my wife is, because she loves Drake May. Should be fun on Sunday. But anyway, I'm picking the Seahawks to win and cover. I think they're going to beat them by 9, like something like 29-20. Not super high scoring.
No, sounds good for all the reasons that you cited too, except for your shirt and shirt color. That's a stretch, and I'm not talking about the material.
And the MVP is going to be Sam Darnold.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So I'm going to pick with my wallet, not my heart or head, but my wallet, and that's going to go to the Seahawks. Yeah, they're favored. I could pull up some stats too that give me a little bit more confidence in that pick. For example, this will be the 9th or 10th rematch. So there have been a lot of Super Bowl rematches, and in those games, the original victory team has won 66% of the time. So 2/3 of the time, the original victor in the rematch wins, and that'll be the Seahawks again in this game. So I like the Seahawks, and I'm going to tell you this. I always like to point out my prediction on why, based on something. It was pretty good regular season college football this year. If Sam Darnold throws for 265 yards or more with only 1 interception or less, Seahawks win. I mean, not in a blowout per se, but I think they win. They easily cover and win by more than a touchdown.
Okay, I'm writing that down because you have made some very interesting picks through the year, especially when the Hurricanes were making their push to get to the championship. So I wrote down Sam 265 yards.
265, one pick or less, they win by more than 7.
Win and cover.
Easily cover.
7+.
So, listen.
Pretty good.
This is one of the first times, I think it is the first time in history, that both teams are in the top 4 in the NFL. And we know the NFL is not, they are very specific on their, stats and all of that. First time in history, both teams are in the top 4 in both offense and defense.
Yep.
That is a good matchup.
Yep. Seattle is first in defensive rank, third in offensive rank. New England is second in offensive rank and fourth in defensive rank. So yes, that's incredible. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Before the season, this is one of the most unexpected Super Bowl matchups since 1981. Meaning unexpected. Both teams were 60-1 long shots to get to the Super Bowl this year. And the turnarounds for both franchises are amazing. I can't wait till that kickoff. That's for sure.
But me either. And really nobody has an experience advantage either. Seahawks only have 3 active roster members that have Super Bowl experience. The Patriots only have 5. So it's not like, the Tom Brady days where, half the team or the whole team has experience. So that'll be, a non-factor.
Yeah, the last Super Bowl in 1981 that was 2 50-1 long shots was the first of the 2 contests between the Cincinnati Bengals and the 49ers. And, of course, the 49ers won both of those. So, yeah, that's underdogs the last 4 or 5. I thought you were going to pick the Patriots, but we're both picking the Seahawks.
You're wearing Seahawks colors. I'm wearing the ghost gray, white. I mean, it should be white. I mean,
Looks white.
maybe a little bleach in there, but it looks like I'm wearing Patriots colors. I'm not. This is kind of my standard podcast uniform. Yes, I have multiple white shirts. It's not the same shirt every show. But no, I'm not. I'm not wearing a Patriots outfit by any means. I I don't like the Patriots historically as a Raiders and Dolphins, fan, obviously,
Yeah,
but I really do like Vrabel. I
me too.
really do like May. I really do like, how they've gone from, what were they, 4-13 to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
First time ever a team has gone from that bad to the Super Bowl in the next year. So it's kind of an underdog. Watching them all year, they don't seem like underdogs, but that's crazy when you really think about where they came from last year to this year. They're kind of a Cinderella story, despite the fact that when you look at their helmets and their uniforms, they don't feel like.
Right. And did you see that? Just reminded me of last night during the awards ceremony. The lady that was presenting, I don't know her name, but she couldn't pronounce Mike Vrabel's name. She mispronounced it Vrabel like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
Vrabel, and then they went to the audience, to some of the football players, and they're all kind of going,
yeah,
okay. So
that's funny.
anyway, but his acceptance speech really touched me. He thanked everybody in the building, his family, all the people that work, the whole organization, credited everyone else. And then the way he said, I have a lot of, you know, he was grateful that he is there accepting that award. Of course, he wasn't there at the event, but I, I, I grew, I became a much bigger Mike Vrabel fan last night after watching his acceptance speech. Very sincere.
I was already a fan, just
Mm-hmm.
even at Tennessee, the way he handled that whole situation. But yeah, it's hard not to imagine playing hard for him either. It's really hard not to root for him. Uh, and he proves one thing too, like some of the players that were at the awards show. I guess your goal every year is to not be in attendance at that show because it is the week
Exactly.
before Super Bowl, so you don't want to be there. But um, all right, we got our picks in. So for the remainder of the podcast, as promised, there's so many things around the Super Bowl, just crazy facts, stats, and all this kind of stuff. I think let's dedicate the remainder of our show to just rapid fire fun facts. Wow, I didn't know that stuff. It's just kind of crazy. I'm going to start with this.
Yeah.
You know all the confetti that drops at the end?
Yes.
The same guy has been in charge of that confetti drop for the last 30 years.
Is he
Three
Italian?
300 pounds of custom biodegradable confetti, even carefully cut in scientific shapes to have it fall better. This is precision operation. Same guy for 30 years. Wow. Crazy. Go.
That's incredible. I was just wondering if he's Italian. Confetti. His name's Tony Confetti. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know
Well,
what? I wonder what his name is. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I'll have to look. I mean, he's just look for the guy with paper cuts all over his hands.
There you go. He corners the market, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nobody else
Yeah.
can take his job.
Right.
What stood out to me, this is just with the media days and all of that stuff. I found this really interesting. Tom Brady was asked, you know, going to be pulling for your Patriots. He goes, I don't have a dog. Oops. I don't have a dog in the fight. So there's a podcast, and his former teammate, Vince Wilfork, of, as you can see behind you on the screen there, the University of Miami Hurricanes in college. Vince Wilfork had a response to that when he heard that Tom Brady said, yep, when Tom Brady said, oh, I don't have a dog in the fight, even though the Patriots are playing. He goes, that's bull crap.
Yeah.
Are
No
Matthew
kidding.
Stafford's daughters around? I hope not.
No, hey, listen. Where'd Vince Wolford play in the NFL?
For the Patriots.
Yeah, no kidding. He knows he's got a dog in a fight too, probably. I don't know. There's some logic.
Sure.
Hey, listen, Tom, he's a broadcaster and a part owner of the Raiders. He's got to remain pretty, pretty non-biased. So that's probably part of his motivation. Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Yes.
Because this will blow your mind. It blew my mind, which is not, well, that's probably easy to do.
Bring it.
Check this out. Both head coaches are named Mike. Mike McDonald, Mike Vrabel. Okay, I got to kind of read this. This will be the third time that both coaches have the same name in Super Bowl history. And guess what? It's
Yes.
been Mike every time.
No way.
Mike Holmgren, Green Bay, against Mike Shanahan, Broncos. Mike McCarthy, Packers, defeated Mike Tomlin, Steelers. But that's not the part that blew my mind.
What's that?
Listen to this. In the AFC and NFC championship games, if the other teams had won, both coaches in the Super Bowl would have still had the same name in Sean and Sean. Sean McVay against Sean Payton. Mind blown. Unbelievable.
So we're going to have a lot of babies born very soon in the next couple of weeks that are going to be named Mike. There you go.
Yeah. Well, it's a very common name. I mean, obviously. I knew a guy in high school who he talked so loud all the time. His name was Mike.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
he'll be here all week, folks.
Yeah, well, the sad part is when he was a little baby, his mom dropped him.
Oh,
Enough said.
drop the mic. Got it. So to finish up about the Tom Brady thing, it made me think of this too. Pizza Hut just announced that they're closing 250 non-performing restaurants. And that made me sad. And I was just like, okay, well, he's now doing that ad for Pizza Hut, which is pretty funny, especially when you see the lady tackle him, when he's ringing the doorbell. I love that because I get to see Tom Brady get sacked, even though he's not playing anymore. Sorry, Patriots fans. But anyway, they're closed 250 locations. So I'm trying to look up to see, but it's not disclosed publicly how much Tom Brady got paid to do those Super Bowl ads. But it made me look up how much he makes anyway. $52 million a year is his estimated endorsement income. Plus, he makes $37.5 million a year for Fox, just doing the broadcast for Fox. $37.5 million per year. So it just made me think, he's sitting there saying, I don't have a dog in the fight. Does he care if Pizza Hut's having to go down and close a bunch of stores? I don't know. It just he makes so much money. The closest second player that makes as much endorsement money is Travis Kelce. But there's a gap, $52 million for Brady, just in endorsements. Kelsey's about $32 to $35 million. And of course, Patrick Mahomes right behind him at $28 to $30 million. And then it drops down. Josh Allen, $15 million. Justin Herbert, $11 million. And Dak Prescott, $10 million.
Well, he's making a lot of money. I mean, he doesn't want to say he's got a dog in a fight. He's not broadcasting the game, thank God. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth are, which I really like listening to them. But, Brady's probably got to keep it a little neutral, even though he's a 10% owner in the Raiders as well. That's not very neutral. But, it's interesting. All right, rapid fire. Let's go rapid. I've got like 60 more things to talk about at Super Bowl. Let's rapid fire this stuff. Let's go. Levi Stadium, 13th venue to host multiple Super Bowls. That's pretty interesting. There's been a lot. The longest running has been Caesars Superdome in New Orleans with 8. However, I'm going to argue Miami has hosted 11. However, 5 have been in the Orange Bowl, 6 have been in Hard Rock. So it's really 11 in the city. So Miami, would be the king, except for it's broken up into Hard Rock and Orange Bowl. So we'll see. But it's interesting how many there's been, multiple places that have held the Super Bowl, obviously, but 13 have done it more than once. So, all right. Yeah. What else you got?
The Orange Bowl hosted Super Bowl II between the Packers and the Raiders, Super Bowl III between the Colts and the Jets, Super Bowl V between the Cowboys and the Colts. And then right back they were for Super Bowl X, Super Bowl XIII. I can remember every single one of them. We tried to sneak into half of them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We hung out back when you could hang out outside of the stadium before the game. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Nowadays you can't. So I got a couple of facts here. Over 16 to $17 billion, some say it might be $20 billion, are going to be spent on food and drinks for Super Bowl Sunday in America. $1.3 billion on beer. That's 325.5 million gallons of beer that's going to be consumed. That's why it's unofficial national holiday on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Can't go to work. It's not that they don't want to. Woo! A record 1.48 billion chicken wings are going to be consumed. That's about $2.07 billion just in chicken wings. And snacks, 750 million from chips, pretzels, stuff like that. And then I'll be quick. 12.5 million pizzas are estimated to be sold. They're saying average size medium. Yeah, right. Who orders a medium pizza anymore? For me and any of my friends, forget that.
No.
That's $130 million in pizza. And they said it's approximately you'd have to cross the Golden Gate Bridge 1,392 times with the pizzas lined up on the bridge. You'd have to cross that many times with the pizzas are all side by side. So there's a little San Francisco Bay Area reference there for how many pizzas are going to be eaten. That's just amazing how much money is going to be spent. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. No, it's crazy. I hope they close the bridge. Otherwise, any thick crust would be flatbread. But, whatever. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, a lot of food, a lot of wings, a lot of beer. So check this out. Drake May is going to be it's too bad for him, 40 days older than Dan Marino when he was starting quarterback in the Super Bowl. So he'll be the second youngest starting quarterback in Super Bowl history, but he can beat out Ben Roethlisberger to become the youngest starter to win a Super Bowl ring. I thought this was pretty interesting. Both Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba are both trying to become the second person in history behind Jim Plunkett to win both a Rose Bowl MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. So we'll see what happens there.
It's interesting. I'm glad you brought up Jim Plunkett's name because I saw it on the news this morning that he is still not in the Hall of Fame. Got passed over again.
Yeah,
so we need Jim Plunkett. I think he should be a shoo-in. He had a couple of tough years at the beginning of his career because he went to a very crappy New England Patriots team.
Yeah, it's horrible.
But once he got to the Raiders, that story changed. He was stalwart. He was a good quarterback. He knew how to control the game, just like Greasy. Their era came right after the Dolphins. So we need Jim Plunkett in the Hall of Fame.
We do. All right, next fun fact. Let's go. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Oh, man. Let's see. Sam Darnold's grandfather, speaking of Sam, his name is Dick Hammer.
What a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. He's a former USC basketball star. He was an Olympian in volleyball, a firefighter, and did you know that he was one of the original advertising people as a Marlboro Man?
Wow. Love it. Boy,
I thought that was a fun fact for the Super Bowl.
That's a very fun fact. Yep. Here you go with another one. Did you know, and this caught my attention, Josh McDaniel, offensive coordinator for New England, can become the most decorated player coach in franchise history. He'll earn his 7th ring if he wins this game, passing up Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I did see that yesterday. The experience, that's a great point. The experience on New England's side is something that's making me go, I don't know, see how this game's going to go. But Vrabel, all of his Super Bowl experience as a player, and now I think I saw where Josh McDaniel, this is his 11th Super Bowl. That's crazy.
I mean, it is. And, there might be a little advantage into that. We'll see.
Yeah. So I guess we're looking at one thing in my mind, one thing that I'm going to be watching that game for is how's it going to be officiated?
Yeah.
The hand fighting, is it going to be called or is it not going to be called? That's the biggest question I have. When I start watching, I'm going to be watching that. I'm not going to let it spoil the experience for me, but I hope it's a clean game. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I think historically it's been pretty good. They're going to let them play, I think, so I don't think there's any disadvantage for either team. They both run the ball fairly well. They both, try to throw the ball. So it's pretty, we'll see. There's obviously a lot more opportunities for questionable penalties on the passing game versus the running game, but we'll see. I didn't know this either because we just think of the Patriots as the Patriots as this juggernaut in the Super Bowl. They're at risk of going 6-6 in Super Bowls, but more eye-catching to me, 3-4 since 2007. I always felt when they got there they never lost, but they're about to go sub 500 if they lose this game since 2007 in the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Well, I think that's going to happen.
Well, that's what we both have picked. We'll see.
Yes, sir. Well, we could still talk about so much more, but I can't wait till that game. And they better play. They better call the bad calls, not just let it go. That's all I want. I don't want this to be marred by a bad call.
No, I don't think it will. And listen, other things that added to my pick. Did you know Drake May is looking to become the first quarterback with the initials DM to win? Dan Marino, Donovan McNabb are 0-2. So, he's got it's gonna be crazy.
It is.
We'll see what happens.
That's great.
All right. Well, I'll be watching. Are you gonna be watching?
Heck yeah, man. You
All
better
right.
believe it.
Well, let's see. I'll be having a chicken wing in one hand and a flatbread pizza in the other. And that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And please don't forget, your comments are a part of the show. Do your pick and tell us why and who you think is going to win the MVP. Look forward to reading the comments. We'll feature them in our next episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and catch us every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Joe. Have a good weekend, brother.
Enjoy it, man. Enjoy the Super Bowl. See you guys.
You too.